Hello, good afternoon. How are you, Juan Carlos?
Fine, and you? How are you? How's everything?
Very well, very well. Here we are that I think last week we didn't have time to connect. So I hope we have different things to explain and questions to answer. In any case, we always take this time to review maybe things that people already know, but I think it's always good to refresh because I do my consultations and I still see possibilities that people maybe didn't remember or don't know. So I hope this is not always repetition, that people find out new ways to get a residency or to change residencies. I think we have good news. For example, we can explain. Last week we have with Juan, we have the resolution of the court from Barcelona, from a European Union long-term residency that was denied. So you see that sometimes things don't go as we expected, and immigration denies. And we also did an appeal to immigration, because you remember there are two kinds of appeal. The appeal for immigration, which is called reposición or alzada, depends on the kind of procedure that we are doing. And after that, if immigration doesn't change their mind, we can go to the court. So in this case, this was the wife of someone who was showing the stable financial means, because you remember that for the European Union long-term residency, you have to show stable financial means, but stable financial means are not defined. So in this case, was the man that was the husband that was working, and we were showing financial means from all the for all the family, and they approved their children, but they denied the wife's permit. We went to the court, and after how long? It was long, right, Juan?
Well, we filed for the appeal when the state of alarm was still in force, like
Well,
May, June, and actually it was pretty fast compared to other kind of procedures at the court. So, in less than 6 months, we got a favorable resolution from the court. It was very fast because we filed another kind of appeals at the same time, and this was solved just like a week ago. So it was fast enough. I think they were
yes.
they hurry up.
And this, for example, was in Barcelona, because we always we have a lot of clients all over Spain, but we see that we have a lot in Barcelona, in Valencia, in Malaga, where a lot of English-speaking citizens are. And for example, Barcelona, prácticas, for example, is something that they resolve very quick, but they also deny a lot. And búsqueda de empleo, the same. They do it
That's it.
very quick, but they deny a lot. So don't think that if you get a denial, is everything lost. The courts in Barcelona, on the other hand, goes quick enough, and they are their knowledge in immigration, I feel, is better than in other cities. So we get several approvals in Barcelona without having to explain to the court what the immigration law means, which sometimes in Madrid happens, and other times it depends in the judge. But well, good news for this person, and it's just giving you like information. So if you haven't get an approval, everything is not lost. You can appeal, and when you gain the appeal, they give you the rights from the moment that you should have got it. So if you file a renewal and the renewal is denied, when the court approves it, even if it's 5 months later, you have the residency from the moment that you apply first, so you don't lose time in order to apply for long-term residency or for nationality or for whatever you want. More new things, Juan. For example, we had from Chicago, it was today, I think it was today,
Yes.
from Chicago. Yes, explain it, that you are becoming an expert on this kind of permits, COVID permits.
Yeah, we had this very unfair situation before. Relatives of European Union citizens were allowed to come into the European Union and into Spain, but we found that there was a very unfair situation for people that weren't registered. They weren't married, they were in a pareja de hecho, a registered couple, but they had an affective relationship, and they were separated because of COVID, and they couldn't reunite, and there was nothing to prove that apart from everything that goes with the relationship itself, like living together before, I don't know, like going to the notary and explain everything regarding the relationship that they had before. So the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Spain issued a recommendation to all the consulates in order to study separated all the cases regarding stable couples. So if a couple could certify that they were a couple, like with proofs regarding leasing contracts, traveling together, reservations, joint bank accounts, and everything that is involved within a relationship, they could get a special permit to travel to Spain to come with the European Union citizen. And in this case, we had an American citizen that wasn't able to come to Spain because of COVID. He was like trying to come since March. He wasn't able to come. His flight was canceled, and then the restrictions of other citizens from third countries were issued, and he couldn't come to Spain. So now that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs issued this recommendation, we worked very hard with the couple itself. We gathered all the documents that they have involved in this relationship. We set a meeting with the notary. We make a sworn declaration, an affidavit explaining all, and then we request this permit to the consulate. And in this case, in less than 10 days, the consulate issued a special permit signed by the consulate itself, stating that this person, this certifies that Mr. as an American citizen with passport number bearer of this document has been authorized to travel to Spain by Seafront Border Police High Command, since he has duly proved that he is in a committed relationship with a Spanish citizen. And with that permit, he will be able to board the plane, that is a tough mission, and then to enter to Spain. So very good news for that part. And remember, if you are a couple with a Spanish or a European Union citizen that lives in Spain, you are able to get this kind of permit, even if you are not registered or not married with that person.
For example, today I was doing a consultation with a similar case, and the person was living in New York, and the person has sent me like the official information that the New York consulate sends, and I will post it in Facebook so people can see. And really are evidences of the couple, no? If you can enter, it's because you are a couple of a European Union citizen. So how you prove this? Well, you prove it with evidences as lease agreements, as appointments of marriage, empadronamiento together. So these are things that we always advise you to have for a stable couple. And the entrance is a very similar thing to a stable couple. It's showing the stable couple to the consulate, which is never easy because it is like an open document. So it's whatever you have, you need to show it. So getting this organized and not showing something that maybe is bad for you is the main part, okay? Because sometimes what we see is that if you show things that instead of showing that you are a couple and living together, shows that maybe you don't have a so stable relationship because you don't see each other as much, maybe it can be bad for you. So you need to find the point to what to show and what not to show if it can be misunderstood by the consulate, right, Juan? That is I think it's the biggest thing and the most difficult thing to do, what to show and what not to show.
Exactly, exactly, because they want to see documents, and it's hard sometimes. I mean, if you haven't traveled a lot, if you didn't have the listing together. So one of the best documents that we do is to go to a notary here in Spain, the Spanish citizen, and she or he explains everything related to the relationship. We met in the summer of 2014. Back in then, I visited her parents, and then I visited her family there, and we make the history of the couple, a very long history explaining everything. And with that, for example, in this case, they didn't have a lot of proof, but they made a very good history with the notary, and that was enough. Okay, so and because
That
it
is
was
great.
a very real relationship.
In any case, remember, if you don't have a lot of evidences or you don't see you have a strong case, there are some other residencies like non-lucrative or like a student that maybe fix better for you for the beginning, while after that the person enters and you can still be working on the stable couple doing more evidences. We do things like that. Juan, more things. What do
Yeah,
you
and
do?
not only for couples. Remember that if you are a high qualified worker that needs to come to Spain to perform certain activities, for example, if you're an architect that is going to do something relating to to a building that is going to be constructed in Spain, if you need to do something related to financial means of a company in Spain, if you are the CEO or the CFO of a company that has like a company that is related to the company in your country, you may get a permission to enter Spain in order to perform these exceptional activities that cannot be done remotely and that are urgently. For example, sometimes you need to come to Spain to gather some documents for the financial situation of the company. For example, to get a credit from the bank, something that you need to do by yourself and that you cannot do it by a power of attorney, that you cannot do it by Skype, that you cannot do it remotely. And if we provide enough reasons for this to happen, and actually just a couple of days ago, we got one from another consulate in the US. We got this permit from a consulate, from a person to come to Spain in order to establish a company that was like the brother of the company in the US, okay, a branch of the company in the US, and they are going to allow it. They are just asking for some additional documents, but they are saying us that they are going to provide it. And we have got this kind of permit not only from the US, also from Moscow recently, a week ago, actually, and it was very hard because they are closed.
Yeah.
They are closed directly. They don't do visas. But they issued this special permit for this person because we were able to prove that if they didn't come, employees may lose their jobs in Spain. Okay, we have done it for people coming from Argentina, people coming from Mexico, people coming from the US, people coming from the countries in the Arab countries. So this is something. If you work, if we work thoroughly together, it's possible. Okay, so it's not closed. But also, as you were saying, Ainhoa, most of the people, they knew that they had 90 days to come to Spain, and they decided just to come here as a tourist, and they forgot that they had a lot of other chances to come to Spain, getting a visa, getting a residence permit, and even changing after that. Because as a tourist, you have like restricted options in order to apply for a permit. But if you come with a visa directly from the consulate, you have plenty of options. And now we are experiencing that we have a high volume of work here at Externa. We have more cases than last year at the same time of the year. Even with the pandemic, even with COVID, we are having more people coming to Spain than last year at the same time. And this is because people are not doing the old way, coming as a tourist and then finding out what to do. Maybe people were like, okay, I'm going to stay illegally for 3 years and then ask for a permit of arrival. No. They are getting consultation from us. They are knowing what they can do. We explain every alternative. Maybe they can do a non-lucrative. Maybe they can do a high qualified worker. They can come as a student, and they do it much better than before. So I think that for that part, this pandemic has been good in order to get good options, migratory options.
Exactly. I think that the long term is going to be good for them, because it's true that maybe it's not now that comfortable as coming as a tourist, but getting a residency from the beginning is giving them a lot of more options to decide what they want to do next year or in 6 months. So really, it's a little more effort in the beginning, but then it's okay. I was thinking about talking also regarding the ones that they are here, talking about problems with búsqueda de empleo, because we are doing a lot. And I saw really that there was just this question, that is that, what are the general reasons of rejection with búsqueda de empleo? And I think it's a very good questions, because there are problems with the private insurance that Lenny is asking, and problems with where is the money. Sometimes depending on which city in Spain you are, they are picky. If you don't have the money in Spain, they shouldn't, but they are. So I think it's a good thing to review what is a búsqueda de empleo, because we are also having Constancia, that is the other lawyer that we have in the law firm, that goes more with Spanish-speaking clients. She was telling me a lot of problems with approvals of búsqueda de empleo when the course is not official. Maybe it's from an official school, like IE, for example. But you know that there are schools that have courses that they have like authorized by the Ministry of Education, and some others that are like cursos propios. So courses that are designed by that school, but they haven't get the approval of the Ministry of Education, and it can be very good courses, but they have started denying the búsqueda de empleo of these kind of courses. I have my opinion that we can appeal that, because the law doesn't speak about official courses, and if you get a student permit approved for that course, and it has what it says, grado, or what is the European Union?
Yeah, Marco Europeo de Cualificaciones.
Exactly.
Level 6 at least. They are asking for this level, but they have like this kind of weird registry where they like is Registro Único de Cualificaciones y Titulaciones, the RUT, and they check that in there. But it's kind of weird because it's change of criteria, I think. Before they were doing, for example, in Madrid, every superior course, every master degrees, they were approving this kind of permit.
Exactly.
But now they are changing the criteria. They go to like a searcher of an engine to search this kind of degrees. And if they find this degree in that engine, they will approve the permit. And if it's not, then they will not. Okay? It's kind of unfair because títulos oficiales and títulos propios is like the main issue here. If you have a título propio, then it usually doesn't belong to this register. However, the law says, and this is something that universities have to go with, because universities may request the registration of the títulos propios on that registry, but they don't do it.
So
okay, and I just had a consultation regarding this, and I was very mad because the university said to the person that they were level 8 on the Marco Europeo, and then the person got a denial stating that this title was not registered within this registry. And they said at the university, no, because it's a título propio, and the título propio cannot be registered within this registry. But the Article 7 regarding this registry says that the non-official titles can be registered there if the university or the academy requests it.
But so, in which one? In the ROIG or in the Marco Europeo?
In the RUT.
In the RUT.
Yeah, okay. Register of university centers and titles, the RUT. That in the Article 7 it says that the Ministry of Science, and in this case this new ministry, can request, if the university requested, can get these non-official titles, degrees registered within this register.
This is very important, very, very important, because that is the difference between having the approval and having the denial. So this is one of the main things, and it's very important that you talk to the university, or even you let us know and we talk to the university so they register the courses in that registration. Because remember that if you get a Busca de Empleo, you get a 1-year residency, which gives you a lot of options, because once first of all, you start counting for the long-term residency and for the nationality. Second of all, you get 1 more year while you are looking for a job. That doesn't mean that you need to end the whole year in order to switch to a work permit. Whenever you get the job, you switch to prácticas, okay? But other cases of denial is insurance, right, Juan?
Yeah, I think that the main reason would be something that is very silly or like very absurd, but people don't see it. And we have had some denials because of this main reason, as people doing it by their own, by register, or by post, by correos. And this kind of permit has to be requested online. You cannot do it.
Yeah. That is very important.
You cannot do it by correos. You cannot do it physically there. You have to do it online. So we have had people that come to consultation after they have this inadmisión a trámite because they requested it by themselves without doing it online. Okay, so that would be like the main reason that people are getting this. The other reason, mostly in Valencia, is insurance, because people had their old insurance from a student permit, and they thought they could use the same insurance with the búsqueda de empleo, and it turns out that as they are not students anymore, they cannot use the same insurance that they did before. So this is one of the main reasons of the denial. Of course, right now, the change of criteria regarding the kind of degrees that you have. You have to make sure that you have a certain level of the degree, and that is within this registry. And it's not a reason for denial, but a reason for a requirement is the funds, the economical means.
Exactly.
They know that you have $10,000 in the US in Chase bank account, but they want to see it how you have it here. Okay, they want to see that. It's not in the law, it's not on the reglamento, but some foreign officers say, I want to know where you have the money, how did you get that money? So we have to do some kind of mixed explanations, going to a notary, translating documents from there, getting documents from a banking here, showing transfer between the banking there to the banking here is hard, but they do it. So, but I think that just to summarize, it would be that doing it by correos, by post, or by registry instead of doing it online, the degree that they do, the health insurance, and of course, economical means will be the main parts of this kind of denials or requirements in this kind of permit.
Exactly. And I want to clarify very, very well something that some lawyers have not clarified well, because the other day we were waiting until 8 p.m. For a client to apply for a renewal of a student visa, because there is some misinformation from lawyers, or I don't know, from Facebook or for whatever, thinking that everyone has a 6 more months of permit, and no, okay, only the ones that were expired during COVID. So this was June 30th, right?
31st of June and 90 days before the state of alarm, and until the 21st of June.
21st of June, exactly. I'm so bad with dates.
And I know, just to let them know, because most of the students that we have, because the permit is linked to the course itself, most of the students in Spain have their permit ending on the 30th of June. So it's almost 10 days after the expiration of the state of alarm. So
exactly,
the person don't have this automatic extension, and if they haven't applied for a renewal, they have become illegal in Spain.
Exactly. That is, I think it's a very important thing that they have clear. And please, if you are listening to this and you have student friends that are students or not students, whatever kind of residency, yeah. But I see a lot of this situation with the students. Please tell them that if the permit expire after June 21st, they don't have those 6 more months. Okay, be careful with that, please, because we are doing renewals like in the last day, because people didn't know or thought that they had more, that they have more time. Please, only people with expiration after before June 21st have those 6 more months. Very important. Okay, Juan, I don't know if we should go to questions or you were thinking about talking about
Just a recommendation from the European Union. They have just issued this new recommendation saying that all the European Union countries should issue the same criteria regarding the permits to enter the countries. Okay, that they cannot have one kind of criteria in France and one different criteria in Spain. They have to all harmonize the criteria, and we're hoping that this will have a good influence. For example, right now, they allow European Union citizens to come and the relatives to come. The wife and children of a European Union citizen can enter Spain. But for example, in Germany and in France, they don't only allow the relatives of a European Union citizen, but of relatives of people that were holders of a residence permit.
Okay.
So I'm hoping that they allow people that have a relative with a residence permit here, so the wife can enter, the children can enter, and then apply for a permit here. So because right now that is banned in Spain, you can only European Union citizens and relatives can enter. But for example, if a person from Mexico has a permit here and wants her wife to join him, he cannot come.
Exactly. I didn't know, but what I didn't know is that in France and in Germany they could.
Yeah, they allow it. So by these new criteria, they should do it. They should allow it.
But they or the other way around. So we don't know the decision. We don't know what are going to be the general criteria to every country.
Recommendation. They are just saying, hey, just please coordinate. They coordinate you and do it like this. Okay, it's just a recommendation.
Okay, perfect. Okay, let's go to some questions. Qué buen inglés. I don't know. Thank you. We do the best that we can. Okay, Sheila says, hello there. Thank you so much for your work and helping immigrants. I have a question. My husband and I would like to buy a property to qualify for Golden Visa. When purchasing the property, can we put in on both our names, or for the Golden Visa purpose that it have to put in one or the other name? Well, this is a good question. Really depends in your legislation or from your own country what established for the economic situation for the marriage. So if in your legislation says that everything that you buy together is from both of you, then it's going to be fine if you put 50%. How it is 50% and 50% if you buy everything and is in your legislation says that everything is from both of you, it will be fine. But when is the safest way to do it, really just for immigration, thinking about immigration, maybe for tax reasons you think other things, but if you think about immigration, you will never fail if you put it under one name, because the other will always be able to come as a family member. So in immigration is clear. If you don't want to take a risk, because the problem about buying on both names is that you need to prove your legislation, and it's not that easy to prove your legislation to immigration. Show it if things are from both of you or just for one of you. So that is the problem. If you become a family member, it will always you will always comply with the requirements. One is the principal has the house, and the other is the family member. There is no way to get mistaken there.
That's
Right, Juan?
Yes, I think that to avoid any trouble.
Exactly. If it's under both names, only when you have when everything is from both of you, you will comply with the requirements if you decide to do it under both names. Okay, Georgina says, how long it takes for marriage certificates to get registered into Registro Civil de Madrid? This is a good question. We sent our document 2 months ago, but did not have news yet. Okay, it's going to take much longer, right, Juan?
Yes, it's taking about at least 6 months, and between 6 months and 1 year.
And this is quicker than at consulates, because you know that if you live outside, you can do the registration to the consulates, and consulates were always, except some very good consulates that do this quick. In all the other cases, consulates are slower than doing here in the Registro Civil de Madrid. But it's true that since COVID, they have been slower. So take into account around 6 months or even more. Remember that in any case, it's mandatory to do it. And for example, now for family members of Spanish people, they are asking us to prove that we have submit the registration, right, Juan? The other day in Baleares,
Yeah,
what
Canarias.
were asking? Canarias. They
The
were
Canary Islands. Yeah.
exactly, because it's mandatory. The immigration authorities in Canarias were asking really to show that the registration process has started in order to give the permit. So it's important for you to do it, maybe not to get it resolved, but at least to start the application in order to get all the benefits as familiar, the family member of European Union citizen.
That's it.
Okay, Rases says, for a baby born in Spain, assuming continuous residency's birth, when does the 1 year count towards citizenship? From the date of birth or from the date the residency visa was approved for the baby, which in our case was 4 months later due to COVID. I think the safest way to understand the law is from the moment that he or she has the residency. So after those 4 months, from that 4 months, what is really you can gain time is that normally you apply at one point and you get the approval 2 months after, and sometimes the NIE has the residency, the date of residency when it's approved and not when you apply, and really should be when you apply. But I wouldn't risk fighting with the Ministry of Justice, which is the one that resolves the nationalities, for 2 months. So I think the safest way to do it is whenever you have the proof that you have residency since that date in the NIE, okay, 1 year after. I think you are maybe losing the right of 2 months, but gaining a lot of time, because if you get a denial and you need to appeal, you will get 1 year later the resolution of the appeal, or 6 months later. So really wait for those 4 months that you are talking about, and good luck. Okay, Gabriela says, on my previous video from Director Ainhoa Manero, I heard that it's possible to apply from Spain while being there as a tourist and then come back to my consulate to collect the visa. Could you confirm that when the procedure is initiated in the Spain, is it via Extranjería office? Are there any different requirements when done this way? I don't know what residency she means. From maybe it's the one that we were saying that we have done non-lucrative from Miami. Remember that we were saying that there are some non-lucrative that they are getting, the consulates are getting the permits from cuenta propia.
Okay.
Okay. Cuenta propia, you cannot do it as a tourist here, okay, as a tourist, but you can do it as a student. Before the 3 years, we always say, for example, if you want to do a cuenta propia and you are a student, you don't really need to wait for the 3 years in order to modify. You can apply for cuenta propia before these 3 years and then fly back to the fly back to the consulate and submit the approval. Another things that we can do, of course, if you are here as a tourist and you are planning to do a cuenta propia, we can start doing the cuenta propia because there is a lot of work to do ahead, so we can do that. And even if they are getting the cuenta propia documents by post, because there are some consulates that they are working like online or by post, we can even start doing that, but they will check that you are not irregular in Spain, so don't stay longer than 90 days while you are waiting. In any case, a cuenta propia takes long. What we can do from here that is similar to a cuenta propia and is quick is the entrepreneur visa, but the entrepreneur visa needs to have some characteristics, needs to bring innovation to Spain or to be relevant for the economy or for the social impact in Spain. So, well, if you want to clarify, but if you are a tourist, we can start here, of course, but the application must be done in the consulate. Okay. Okay, more questions. Can you read it, Juan?
Yes, this is from Michela Botia, and we have spoken about this before. What are the common reasons for the rejection of búsqueda de empleo? Yeah, so I think that we have.
I already answered this, Raquel. I don't know if there are more. No, I think, yes. If you try to apply for this permit, do you also need a visa to enter to Spain? Or is it not to proving your relationship? Juan, for the permit for a stable couple.
Yeah, because I think that this person asked a question regarding the registration of a marriage before.
OFA? I think
how to register a marriage in Spain. So I think she's maybe referring to.
Exactly. I think it's for the one that we were talking about, being a family member of a European citizen and being able to enter. If we need to apply for a special visa, or they can enter with the evidences. What do you think?
Yes, and I mean, if she has already started the registration of the marriage, that would be a very good proof of you being a stable couple. Not even a stable couple, you have been married before. So I think that she's referring to registration of a marriage that already took place. But in case they are saying about a file to get married, another one, I think that this could be also a very good proof of you being a stable couple. So I think that in both cases, even if you are registering a marriage or you are trying to get married in Spain, that's a very good proof you're a couple. But yes, you can try to apply for this permit in order to travel to Spain, and then you can also ask for a permit as a relative, as a familiar de comunitario, proving also your relationship in there. But for example, in this case that we have in Chicago, okay, the permit stating we have a very good document. This special permit will be great in order to apply for the familiar de comunitario of this person, because we have an official document saying that they have proof that they are an official couple. So maybe getting one of these permits will be something that will help a lot to your application as a familiar de comunitario. Of course, we
Exactly.
are going to use this on this person case regarding the familiar comunitario in Spain, because the consulate and the Comisaría General de Extranjería is saying that they are a couple. So what more do they want?
Exactly. That was a very good thing to get. Congratulations, Juan. Juan is always there fighting for the approvals.
Yeah, sometimes we do kind of. I think that we do certain kind of magic. I know, because we get some impossible things that if you ask to another law firm, with all due respect, with all my colleagues, of course, they say no, this is not possible. You are not going to get it. You have to wait. No, no, no. If you have something and we can work with that, we are going to work very hard to get the impossible done for you.
That is why we get entrepreneurs or freelance or these kinds of permits, while some other lawyers sometimes tells you, no, the better thing to do is getting married. Okay, maybe once you get married, the immigration permit is easier for us, but maybe it's not what you need or not what you want. So we get our hands dirty, we say in Spain, so nos manchamos las manos, and we try to get the more difficult things, but it's what you really want. Maybe you don't want to get married to a Spanish citizen if you have a project and you want the entrepreneurship visa. So it's just working and believing in the case, which one fights that very well and shows that he's sure about things with talking to the Ministry of Economy or the Ministry of Affairs, because depending on the kind of permit, we need to talk more to one ministry or other. Okay, Sergio says, how long does the process for naturalization and citizenship take for a Latin American person after they have resided legally through highly qualified professional residency for 2 years? And what moment one can apply, and do you manage that process? And what moment one can apply? Okay, you can apply after, as you say, after 2 years, but remember, after 2 years, you need to renew your residency and apply for nationality, because people just think, okay, I'm reaching the 2 years residency, I apply for nationality and that's it. No, renew also nationality, because it's going to take around 1 year to be resolved. Remember, if you are waiting much more than 1 year, for example, if you've been waiting for 1 year and 8 months, I recommend you to go to the court. We go to the court, to the Audiencia Nacional. It's called contencioso, and we do an appeal saying that it should be approved, that it haven't been approved yet, that you comply with all the requirements. We show all the requirements, and normally we get an approval in an average of 6 months. So sometimes we get it in 3 months, and sometimes we get it in 9 months. But for sure, it's going to be quicker that just waiting and waiting, especially when you find out that it's a little lost, or when you didn't apply online, which a lot of you, sometimes you haven't applied online, you have just gone to the register office, and those goes even slower. Good luck with that nationality. We are here to help you if you need it. Okay, Maita says, what can I tell companies that ask me if I have permission to work in Spain, in another country in Europe? I was approved for an entrepreneur visa for my startup, but our business is not going well. Can I look for work visa a Spain European company with my current visa? Okay, this is a very, 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 very good question. So first of all, I don't know how bad is going your project. Remember that after a year you can switch to cuenta propia, which is less demanding, okay? It's less demanding on the requirements. So don't wait until the 2 years ends of your entrepreneur to try to renew, because it's some kind of risky. They deny a lot of entrepreneurs that haven't followed what they say in the business plan. So it's better to change at least to the cuenta propia. On the other hand, while you are doing it, you can work while you are with your entrepreneur permit. You can work for other companies, okay? And the good thing is start working for another companies. And at that moment, if you are going to change your entrepreneur visa, apply for a cuenta ajena, okay? So when you are entrepreneur, you can work for other companies, or the other way around. If you are a highly qualified worker, you can do your own business. But always thinking that the main permit is the important one, and you are still doing that activity. If your project is not going well, you have to try to switch to cuenta propia. And the good thing whenever you have an offer is asking for compatibilidad. Or if you got getting now a good job, but in the end, if your entrepreneur is not doing well, it will be better to switch to cuenta ajena and be a normal employee to that company. If you need to do a consultation, we do private consultation, because it's very important for you to work ahead, not waiting for those 2 years, okay? Because companies in Spain can hire you as cuenta ajena or highly qualified worker, and outside also they should have like process in Europe, process as highly qualified worker. Of course, after 5 years, you have the larga duración Unión Europea, which makes things easier for you to go to work in Europe, but I don't think you are at that stage. So we can help you doing a strategy, at least to guarantee your residency here, switching to cuenta propia. Okay, Raquel, I don't know. Okay. How to get the concesión de la resolución after getting accepted cuenta ajena inicial? I haven't received the physical letter in my email. Thank you. Juan, what do you do when we don't get letter?
As a lawyer, we use some special email that we have, okay, but this is an email only for lawyers, okay? We say, hey, we have had this resolution, we know that it's favorable, but we haven't get the resolution. Please notify the resolution to our electronic card as a lawyer, no? This is a special card that we have as lawyers, and we put this in a reader and we get that resolution. In case that you haven't received it and you are not a lawyer, what you can do is to write to the correo de información de extranjería, and you say, hey, I know that my permit was approved a month ago. I haven't received anything by post. Please send me the resolution. You attach your email, you attach your passport, you attach your ONIE, the screenshot of the resulta favorable, and just wait for it to get it.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Okay, Megan say, I'm waiting to apply for self-employed visa from the US. Are they being accepted? Yes. Do we need Spanish clients, or can they all be in the US? Well, good question. This always depends a lot on the person that is resolving this. It's true that it should be fine with US clients. I have approvals with US client, Megan, but it's also true that if they see some Spanish clients, they like it better, because they see like a reason to be here in Spain. So don't stop doing it. Don't stop applying if you don't have a Spanish client, because I think now better than ever you can explain to immigration that you can work remotely, because now we are all working remotely. So I think you need to do a strong effort defending that, or we can help you with the cuenta propia and we will do a strong effort. But it's true that when we prepare cuentas propias, we always try to do the closer that we know that immigration likes. So if you in the end can get a Spanish client, it's better. Okay, Michaela says, a couple of months ago, the company that hired me proceeded with my work permit with my student visa, but no news until now. If I apply for Busca de Empleo, with that ruin that the work permit process, I don't know if I think Michaela is talking about practicas, that maybe the company, because when you do practicas, really there are two ways to go. You can do a prórroga, de estudios with the practicas, or you can do a residency for practicas, which is better, but we don't know what the company has done. If the company has applied for, it should be practicas, okay? Because the prórroga de estudios, you apply for that. In any case, yes, you can do a busca de empleo and it doesn't ruin that. I think, first of all, you need to think that that should be approved, because practicas should be approved in 1 month, okay? So if you haven't heard, you need to ask for silentio positivo. In any case, just in case, imagine that something was done wrong by the company or whatever. It is good to apply for Busca de Empleo and not lose the chance. And maybe you can do a letter saying that you are just applying for Busca de Empleo just in case there is a problem with the practicas. What do you think, Juan?
Yes, maybe also they try to get a work permit for a student also, something like that.
The work permit for a student, which is but that is worse than practicas. I will recommend you to apply for practicas. In any case, I will apply for Busca de Empleo just in case.
Yeah,
But
just to have like a backup plan, a plan B, just in
yeah,
case that they
yeah,
don't apply the other one. But make sure about getting the búsqueda de empleo right. Remember everything that we said before.
telematic, okay? Because remember, prórroga de estudios or renewal of a student that maybe you are used to do it, you can do by the register office. It's fine. But the búsqueda de empleo, no. It should be telematic. And we see that mistake a lot. Remember that. Okay. Wow, what a lot of questions. Okay. This is for you, Juan.
This is from Neil Douglas. I am applying for a modification of my student NIE to cuenta propia. I'm in the 90-day window after my NIE expired, but Extranjería said that I need to renew my NIE first and then make a modification. Is a modification not a renewal? Yes, I mean,
That
in
is
order to apply
correct.
for cuenta propia, this is a modification, and you have to do it while your NIE is still valid. Okay? If you want to renew your student permit, then you can renew, and after that you can modify. But you cannot modify your student permit to a cuenta propia unless that student permit is still valid. You don't have that 90-day window. That 90-day window, you have it in order to renew your student permit. Or, for example, if you had a residence permit, in order to modify that residence permit, but not to modify a student permit, okay? Because that is just an instance permit. That's not a residence permit.
So remember, because it's very important, and this is a common mistake. If you apply before the expiration, it's okay, and the law allows you to do it 90 days before the 3 years. Okay, the modification, not the renewal. The renewal is allowed to do it for 60 days before, but the modification they allow it to do it 90 days before. So if you are doing that, the modification before the expiration, you are okay, and it's going to be proceed. But if you haven't done it and you are doing after the NIE, you are not legal anymore, and that's why they are telling you do the renewal. And when the renewal is approved, we will approve the modification. But they cannot do it if you don't do the renewal, because you are irregular, because your NIE was expired. So that in times is very important to understand it. Okay, Raquel. Juan says, my family and I would like to move to Spain for a year. We have enough funds to qualify for non-lucrative visa. I live in LA, and on the consulate website says that in order to qualify, we cannot have a mortgage here and that we cannot work remote from Spain. My wife is planning on working remote for her current job. Are these things an issue? Well, very good questions. I talk to a lot of clients, tell me the same. Okay, the mortgage, it is something that they have made up, and I think we can fight it, but 100% sure, don't stop applying for a non-lucrative because you have a mortgage, okay? Because they are making up that. The working thing is a little bit, I don't agree, but it's a little bit less clear, because a non-lucrative says that you are not allowed to work. The problem is that in Spain there was no legislation regarding remote contracts and remote jobs, so this didn't exist. When Spain says in the law that you cannot work, really is thinking in a work in Spain and going to a company to work in Spain. So because we don't have that clarified, because now we have a remote job law, but it has recently been published last week, but it's very, very short and doesn't speak either with what happens if you have an employer or client outside. So we are still at the same point. So really, if you are going to, if you are working remotely in LA, they are not going to approve this. I think is something that is difficult to show them reasons, and we should go to the court. But for sure, mortgage is something that I will feel very comfortable to fight, because they don't check this in other consulates, and this is something that they have made up. If you show that you will have the money that they need, the 30 or 40,000 euros if you are a couple, in addition to the payments of the mortgage, it should be approved 100% sure. What do you think, Juan?
Yes, I don't know. Some consulates just made up some regulations.
Exactly.
For example, we deal with the consulate. I mean, the consulate in Uruguay, for example, and they say that young people cannot apply for non-lucrative permits just because they are young. It's not in the law. The law doesn't say anything like that, but it's something that we can fight for. It's something that we make complaints to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, stating, okay, please let us know where in the law they say that young people cannot apply for a non-lucrative. For example, in this case, a mortgage. If you have the financial means to pay the mortgage and to live in Spain, then what is it? Or some consulates that they ask for periodical income apart from having savings, where the law and the judges, the courts in Spain have stated that is this or this, and they emphasize on the word or. You can have one or the other, not both of them. So if you have enough savings to live in Spain for 1 year, 30,000 euros approximately, then you can come to Spain. Some consulates say no, you need to have like you have to be retired and get economical means every one of that pension. No, that is something that they are making up, and that is something that we can fight for. But it will require some patience because we'll have to fight for it. But it can be done.
Okay, the last one. Catherine, I'm switching from high qualified permit to cuenta ajena. Am I legal until get new permit? Yes, my current permit expired. Yes, you are legal. What the main thing could be if you are allowed to work. I will tell you that, yes. Okay, maybe immigration office sometimes they tell you that no, but they never do anything. So if you are already working, because there are some people that are already working for the same company as a highly qualified worker and switching with that company to cuenta ajena. So in that case, it's clear that you can continue working. If you are applying to work for a cuenta ajena to a new company, the correct thing is to wait for the approval, but you are completely legal, and your residency is counting towards nationality, towards long-term residency. Okay. Raquel, the last one, okay, because Juan has to go with his family. Miami Consulate is saying we have a letter of termination, or if self-employed, we have to have an authorized letter that we are no longer working. I have the savings for non-lucrative visa, but I want to work remotely, and what to do so legally. You have to decide. I cannot tell you as a lawyer to go against what you are declaring. What I can tell you is that it's not easy to be bound by that declaration, okay? But I cannot tell you more than that. I've been trying to get an appointment to renew my TIE, but it's been a month and I still can't schedule. I live in Madrid. Can I choose a different region? No. You cannot choose it. Sorry, and a lot of people is in that situation. They are saying that they will give us a solution. A solution is putting more appointments. We are waiting for that. Thank you very much. There were a lot of questions, and very good questions. I think it's been very helpful for all of the people to listen to these things, because are questions that they ask me in consultations, or that they ask to Juan when we are doing the process. So thank you very much, Juan, to be here like always, and Raquel, that she's today very beautiful, but she didn't want to come with the image, but she's behind the scenes. Well, to all of the team that is always working, and these days are working very, very hard with us. So thank you to all of you, and to our viewers that that they are always there doing questions or asking questions. Thank you very much. See you next Wednesday. Okay.